Happy New Year, and welcome to another update video of The Bazaar. Today, I want to try a bit of a different format for you guys, something more unedited, unscripted. I'll just kind of give you a candid view of where we're at and where we've been, and where we're going in 2024. So, no surprises. We are going into game launch for sure this time in 2024. The whole team's gearing up for it, and the studio is finally in a state where every process is pretty ironed out. Every department has great momentum. Things are going into the build quickly. The team is really clicking and ready to run this game as a live service once we ship next year. We're not quite ready to announce the quarter yet, but we will be going into a closed beta in 2024 and then an open beta soon after that, followed by a full release and the start of our Season 1 seasonal cadence. So for those of you that have already backed on Indiegogo or through the Republic campaign that we did a couple years ago, you guys already have access to the closed beta. As long as you have access to that account for that platform or just that email that you used, we'll be able to send you everything we need to. And if you haven't backed the game yet or you found it after those campaigns, don't worry, you'll still have a chance. Everyone still has an opportunity to get into the closed beta. We're going to announce a founders pack that's going to go up for sale right before the closed beta opens, and anyone that gets that can get early access into the game through the closed beta. So we're not fully ready to announce a date on that yet, but that'll be kind of the kickoff point, I think, for a lot of marketing, because there'll be a call to action for you guys to do something, a link that we can, somewhere to point you to towards the founders pack. So it'll make sense to start releasing a lot more info about the game and a lot of this marketing content that we've had pent up for quite a while. So excited to show you what we have saved up. So the momentum on the game has been great. This year we really had to re-architect a lot of the systems so that it would actually stand up on every platform. This is a game with a really ambitious scope. It's a fully cross-platform PvP strategy game for everybody, for every device. And we had to innovate a lot in the way we do matchmaking, in the way that we engineer the thing, to make that work. But what we really think we'll end up with and what we have here is the most accessible PvP strategy game in the world. You can play at your own pace, on your own time, on any device, against everyone else in the world on one server. And we're really excited about that. So the core gameplay loop is what you guys have seen. There have been no radical game overhauls or anything like that. It's a drafting game. You go through a day in the bazaar, meeting different merchants and fighting monsters and going to different encounters every hour. And as you make choices, you build up your character and get stronger. There's a bunch of cool new systems that make it feel more like a hero builder, less like a board of cards builder, if that makes sense. It'll feel more like your hero's doing stuff, like your hero's the one getting stronger. But those are mostly aesthetic and feels-based changes. I think mechanically it's a really similar game to what you guys have seen before, and something we're really proud of. And a core loop that lots of other indie studios have been kind enough to validate for us. So we feel really confident in the design of the thing. We think we're stoked to bring it into the world next year. I'm not ready to get into the details of mechanics or schedules just yet, but I do kind of want to talk about some high-level stuff that might be interesting to some of you guys. So you've seen us talk about 6 heroes over the course of development. I think a lot of people don't realize how big the scope of this card game is. Every single hero represents its own 100-card set. And so, in every other drafting game, every auto battler, everyone's drafting from the same pool of units, like 100 units. That's what everyone sees. In our game, you pick a hero, and every hero has a completely unique pool of its own 100 units, cards. And so there's a ton of content that needs to get made for the game, balanced, polished, refined. But the design of the game is such that it can accommodate a huge volume of new content like that. So we're really excited about releasing new heroes periodically into the game as kind of our meatiest releases that have the most content. But we're also going to have more frequent updates when we introduce a new encounter, a new merchant to the game, a new quest, a new neutral item. So it's not always going to be chunky 100-card releases. We definitely have things changing pretty regularly. And we'll be aiming for a monthly seasonal cadence. That's what the battle pass, the content rotation, that's what everything will operate on. So yeah, I think it's a model that really works well for the players and over time. So there's a huge scope in this game. So of those 6 heroes that you saw, The first three that you'll be playing with in closed beta are going to be Pygmalion, Vanessa, and Dooley, and we'll be releasing Jules, Mac, and Stell after that. Um, Likely on something closer to quarterly schedules what we're aiming for right now, but I don't want to make again like I probably shouldn't even say that in videos. You know what I mean? But that's the goal. We think it's achievable with what we have, and we have a bit of a content buffer because even though we have 6 heroes designed, we're not launching with all of them, so we'll have a bit of a buffer to develop the 7th, 8th one and onward. So we feel good about that. You'll be playing with those 3 heroes in closed beta, and then in open beta, I think we'll be adding one more, and then periodically releasing new ones. So, yeah, stoked about that kind of live ops plan. I think people are going to be really excited about picking up a brand new card set and fighting it against other card sets. There have been a lot of drafting games and drafting formats made over the years, and even in games like Magic or Cube modes, where a lot of different drafting formats have been experimented with. I haven't really seen one where you're fighting different cubes against each other. So I really do think that's kind of a unique aspect of our game, but it also increases the scope of how much stuff needs to get made by a lot. So, we were a little ambitious with our 2023 estimated deadline. The game needed just more time for polish and refinement than that, but we weren't too far off. We're definitely releasing in 2024. We're stoked about how it's looking and playing right now. So, let's see. So, what are some other things I can mention in this yearly update? I know I've said a lot while at the same time saying very little, and you guys haven't heard from us in a year. But like I said, our goal as a studio is going to be to make the best game we can. It's not going to be to distract ourselves with, being an influencer content company outside of that. So we definitely will have regular marketing pieces, and you guys have seen some of the high quality stuff we've done. We have a lot more high quality stuff that we're stoked to show you. But when the time is right, like I said, when the Founders Pack's up, I think is when you're going to start seeing the kickoff to a lot of that marketing. So the questions that I've gotten on Discord that some folks have mentioned, a lot of people are just curious about timelines. How often is stuff getting added? When is the beta, of course? Like when So there's kind of a, depending on what piece of content in the game you're talking about, it's all built to be added onto, and it all releases on a different schedule. So the stuff in the store will change daily. A new encounter might enter up to weekly. Season changes monthly. A hero gets added quarterly, right? So this is kind of like a rough, high-level, live ops goal of ours. But the important thing is that when we add a piece of content to our game, it's meeting our quality bar. Not that we're meeting some, arbitrary, self-imposed deadline. So I really think this will be a game that's timeless. I think it'll stand the test of time. We hope it'll have really high retention and a big player base for many years to come. But it all starts with making a fun game, and that's what we're focused on. I think it's what we have. So. People had really specific questions in Discord. A lot of the things that they were curious about, we're not quite ready to share in detail. Part of it, and honestly, this is a big part of it, we just want there to be surprises for you guys. I mean, we were really open kimono with our development process for the first few years. That definitely bit us when, a lot of studios borrowed ideas before we went to market. But I think it's going to be good that we've sort of reserved the last year of development. You guys are going to be blown away by some of what we made that we haven't shown you. And yeah, I don't know. I'm stoked. I can't wait to get your guys' feedback so I can promptly ignore it and do the opposite to make the game better. But thank you, as always, for following the development of the Bazaar. I really feel like, we're not just building a huge game here, but we're building a great game studio. And the team that we have is exceptional and experienced in working together at this point. I'm really stoked with what we can do and build on, and the speed at which we can do that, once this game's in your hands. So I hope that the world of the Bazaar will live a long time and that we can keep building on it and expanding it, forever. It's designed to be built on as a live service. I think it's what a lot of people don't realize too. A lot of these live service games that come out have a rotational strategy where they make new content, and in order for you to play with it, it sort of rotates out the old content. Like in Hearthstone, or in all card games, it's like the standard set rotation thing, right? But our game, we kind of want our content to be evergreen, cumulative. So when we add stuff, we're not rotating out old stuff. We're just building onto the bazaar. There's one more merchant you can run into now, forever. One more merchant enters the bazaar. So I'm stoked about a model like that. I'm really eager to see how it evolves over time, and it's super fun to play, and already my favorite drafting game that's out there. So I'm just really, really proud of where we're at. Eager to get it into your guys' hands. But again, like I don't want to hype up the game too much. That's why we're not too worried about giving guys, inundating you with updates anymore. We'll let the game speak for itself when it's out here shortly. So thank you for following the development closely. Thank you for supporting the game and the team as always. Have a happy new year. I hope your holidays were great. And 2024 is going to be awesome. Thank you guys all for being a part of this adventure, this journey. And we'll see you next time with another update video. The Bazaar.